Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate you stopping by. I think I'm going to throw a very loud title on this episode. So I really feel this one deserves a title of clickbait here, like something like never text this, something like that. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that we should never do in text messages. There are just some things in a relationship, honestly, in communication in general, that require either an in-person conversation or picking up the telephone and letting this person hear the intonation in your voice. You know, there is no sarcasm font. There is some things that we say that an LOL or a smiley face can just not make right. And that's what I wanted to talk about. If that's at all interesting, stick around. That's what's up. Wow, it is just super easy to get into a conversation texting somebody. I just know I've had it happen before in a relationship. You can just get, the person's not there to disarm you. You can just allow yourself to get angrier and angrier about a situation. Half the time I'm going to tell you it's a misunderstanding. But you can allow yourself to just work it up to being very, very frustrated and angry because there's no actual conversation, which kind of is the point here. And one of the things you should never do in text message is arguing in general. If there is any type of a miscommunication or a disagreement that you're having with a person, that means you're supposed to go old school and pick up a telephone or say, we need to talk, or drive your little tush over to their house and sit on their front porch and say, please come talk to me. I don't want this to go too far with us not understanding where the other person is coming from. So it's easy for a conversation like that when you're allowing yourself to get worked up and you are just getting angrier by the minute to say things that you will regret later. And I'm trying to help you nip it in the bud, my favorite phrase here this week, I think, and not even let it get to that point. Pick up a telephone. It could escalate to name calling. You know, there are things that somebody can never unhear. You can never take back words that you allow to come out of your mouth, can never be taken back or unheard. Once they're out there forever. And if you're a person who has a temper or can get very frustrated with somebody and it can escalate on you, I encourage you to never let it get that far before trying to communicate face-to-face with a person, or at the very least on a telephone, or even better, a video call. It's just a poor form of communication, text messaging, and definitely a horrible form for having a disagreement. Number 2 would be complaints. You don't want to hear complaints from your partner in a text message, but you also don't want to be complaining in a text message. You need to hear somebody's tone to know whether this is just something they're tossing off casually as something they're not loving or would love to see change, or they can't tell if you're really upset about this without having some type of a reference to hearing your voice and seeing your face. So if you're going to complain about something and it's not a full-fledged argument, but it's just something you keep doing that and it's really bugging me, they don't know if you're going, you keep doing that and it's just kind of bugging me, or if you're actually saying you keep doing that and it's really bugging me. Who knows in a text message? Smiley face isn't going to help. Big news would be number 3. Do not share big news in a text message. If this is somebody you care about, you want to share this in person. You want that body language of how they're reacting to your good news to be shared with you. You want maybe a hug or a high five or a kiss or some type of physical connection when you're sharing something positive with somebody you care about. So if you've got some big news, a promotion or a growing family, or somebody's coming to visit, anything like that, you won the lottery perhaps, do that in person. You will appreciate having that person in front of you much more and have a response you will remember much more fondly than having shared it with somebody in a text message. It's worth the wait. Number 4 would be secrets. Sharing a secret is risky business anyway, but sharing a secret in a text message is even riskier still. You don't know who's sitting next to this person. You don't know where they're going to set their phone down, whether it's locked. You don't know whether someone's looking over their shoulder. Maybe you shouldn't be sharing the secret at all. Maybe it's your secret and you're choosing to share it with this person. If it's somebody else's secret, better think twice on that one. But if something is a private matter, definitely keep it for a face-to-face conversation. Secrets are not safe on the internet. I mean, look at all the trouble we go through with our credit cards. You certainly don't want your best kept secrets out there in that way either. Number 5. Relationship questions that require the benefit of facial expressions. Does that make sense to you? Sometimes you want to talk about your relationship. It's not an argument, not a fight, not a complaint, but you want to have a heart-to-heart, maybe on where things are going, what they're feeling, what their intentions are, things of that nature. It's best had in person also, because a person can say something in the same way that actions speak louder than words. A facial expression means much more than a bunch of words somebody strings together in a text message. It speaks much louder to see recognition on somebody's face and watch them process information or answer your questions. So I just think that text messaging in this situation is also a no-no. Much better to have the benefit of a face-to-face conversation. And if you can't be face-to-face, hearing the other person's voice, the pause, how long of a pause they take, their response time is definitely going to play into how that was received and let you know what they're thinking. It's more information. Why would you give up having more information when you have a question and you want it answered? So get the most out of it. Talk in person. Number 6, never text this. Photos that you don't want to be out there on the internet forever. This month, the television show series on Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee is airing on Hulu. And this was a documentary all about a woman who did not give consent for photos or videos of herself to be out on the internet and how it impacted her life. And sadly, this show is actually out there without her consent also. Interestingly enough, I read an article that she was not a part of this series being on television and had no response when they asked her if they could do that for her permission. So consent is an important thing. And also our photos, if we're consenting to send it to one person, doesn't mean we're consenting for them to send it on. Sometimes relationships end badly. There's a whole world out there, a whole world of hurt on people doing, they call it something now. What do they call it? Revenge porn. That's what it is. Where people have taken videos of themselves and sent it out, and then to get revenge, people publicize pictures or videos of somebody that they wouldn't want on the internet. So think very carefully before deciding whether you want to, in text, share a photo of yourself with somebody that may at all be compromising, because you cannot ever be truly guaranteed that that is going no further than that person's photo album on their phone or that text message stream. Better to be safe than sorry. Number 7, don't text your apologies. An apology is a really, really important thing, I believe. I think that if I'm truly sorry and it's a situation where I'm not just casually talking off, oh my gosh, I made a mistake, I'm so sorry, which I say daily to somebody. We may all make mistakes, and to say I'm sorry should be the natural reaction to finding out that you've made an error. But if it's something that truly you've made a grave error or hurt somebody in the process somehow, your partner, then I encourage you to do that in person and let them know by showing your full intentions, with your emotions showing through your voice, through your face, your body language, will inform them that you are sincerely apologetic for whatever you're apologizing for. So it goes a lot further, and I think apologies would be another thing that in those situations would not be suited to text messaging. And finally, I just want to mention that a reminder that anything you are texting has no tone to it when you text. Nobody can tell when you're being facetious or sarcastic or kidding around, or you're just ribbing them, or you are angry and they can't tell by what you're saying. It can be very easy to miscommunicate in text message. You can be totally ticked off, but using words that are not informing your partner you need to speak to them. And or in the complete opposite way, something so benign can be misunderstood without context to be somebody to think you're joking around when in fact it's something that really needs attention. Did I do both the same way? You know what I'm saying? Either way. Somebody could be assuming that it's much more serious than it is, or much more lighthearted. So be aware that there is no sarcasm emoji, there's no I'm kidding around font, there is no way that people can gauge your facial expressions. Yes, emojis, but not really. So be aware of that, especially in a new relationship early on when somebody doesn't truly know you well enough to know what tone you're bringing to this statement, question, or conversation. I hope you found this helpful and or interesting. If you did, please give the episode a thumbs up. And while you're there, if you'd subscribe and hit the ring bell, then we can hang out again sometime soon. I'll look forward to that. Thanks again for stopping by today for this conversation. And until next time, have a good one. This is the wrong time of year for some little gnatty bug to be here. I don't know what that was about. Anywho.